Welcome to Coffee Talk. I am your host, MISHUMA SABA, M.SABA, and this is our Cultural Variety Podcast. Stay tuned. Peace. And welcome to the show, Coffee Talk Podcast. I am your host, MISHUMA SABA, M.SABA, and this is our Cultural Variety Podcast show. How you doing tonight, y'all? It's a night to slow down, if you know what I mean. Slow down from all the Academy Awards, the Will Smith, the Jada, the Chris Rock. We're just going to slow down this evening. So we here, and we are here on a Tuesday night. Yes. We are here on a Tuesday night because we like to give our viewers exactly what we say we're going to give them. And unfortunately, yesterday we were supposed to have 2 episodes scheduled. But with all the hoopla and social media going on with the Will Smith and Chris Rock story, that was heightened through social media, we never got a chance to get around to our second episode yesterday. So we wanted to come back tonight and, show our love and appreciation. So we're having a second show tonight, which is normally not a night that we do our show on, but we're happy anyway, and we're happy to have you here. So welcome to Coffee Talk Podcast. Again, I am your host, MISHUMA SABA, M.SABA, and this is our Cultural Variety Podcast show. But listen, we got a great show for you tonight. We're going to slow it down a little bit. We're going to talk about our milestones in the month of March, man. So you know how we do it on Mondays. Mondays is part of our cultural studies night, where we read chapters, or we read a paragraph, or we just give love to our people, to our authors, our scholars, our scientists, our doctors, our people. You know what I'm saying? So that's what we do on Monday nights. And then, as you do know, Wednesdays is our sports edition. And we're not like your typical sports show. You know what I'm saying? We're not like a typical sports show. We don't care about who won the game, who was the MVP, blah, blah, blah. We like to give you a different perspective on sports, man. So we come from it from that angle that has to deal with our people and how we deal with being in sports history, as well as playing in the sports arena and dealing with that type of business. And then on the weekends, of course, is grown folks night. So we like to have fun on those nights, laugh, humor, jokes, So happy to have you here. All right. So listen. If this is your first time joining the show, we never start the show without giving it some flavor. So tonight's flavor is Black Box Chardonnay. Yeah, that's right. Black Box Chardonnay. Now, Black Box Chardonnay is out of the region of California. It has an ABV of 14%, and it tastes sort of like, oak, apples, and tropical fruit. It's very smooth. Very nice, very, very nice. Black Box is known for its focus specifically on making great wine that pairs well with a variety of dishes. Their Chardonnay delivers citrus aromas with buttery flavors of oak, apple, pear, mango. Bold, semi-sweet with a lasting toasted finish. This Chardonnay pairs well with the lighter flair like roast chicken or potatoes or some fish, you know what I'm saying? So tonight's flavor is Black Box Chardonnay. Go ahead and check that out. Some people are saying, well, I thought this was Coffee Talk. Coffee Talk is us. Coffee Talk is the essence. But when you're here, we want you to enjoy yourself. You know what I'm saying? So you definitely can come on in, pour yourself some coffee, some cappuccino, some hot chocolate in the winter months. We're going into our spring months. Some water, some wine, a smoothie. But what we want you to do is just have a good time. So again, that's why we do it. We give you the flavor here at a Coffee Talk. All right, so that's the flavor. Again, it's Black Box Chardonnay. And tonight's words of wisdom. Tonight's words of wisdom we will be discussing is going to be part of one of our segments, and it's a Jay-Z verse off of the song So Appalled by Kanye West and Jay-Z. And so the wise words for the day, and then we're also going to discuss this a little later, is listen to this verse. It has something to do with this whole week, and we'll discuss that in a minute. But here's the verse. Dark night feeling, diary of a hero, or live long enough to see yourself become a villain. I went to the most hated, or would you rather be underpaid or overrated? Dark night feeling, diary of a hero, or live long enough to see yourself become a villain. I went to the most hated, or would you rather be underpaid or overrated? So I want y'all to think about that, because we're going to discuss that a little further tonight. All right, but that is the wise words for tonight. And again, our flavor for tonight is Black Box Chardonnay. All right, so let's go ahead and get into our show. All right, so first thing we want to do, like we always do, we like to tip our hat, and show our gratitude and our respect to our people. And so tonight we want to talk about our milestones, two landmark milestones that took place in the month of March. And so one of them is this. The first Black woman physicians were Rebecca Cole, who practiced in New York from 1872 to 1881. Susan McKinney, who graduated from the New York Medical College in 1870, and Rebecca Lee, who graduated from the New England Female Medical College on March 1st, 1864. We wanted to give our shout outs, our love, our respect, and our honor to Rebecca Cole and Susan McKinney for lighting the path of women to become physicians in the field of medical. So big shouts out. So see, that's what we do. That's what we do. I know you want more, but that's not what it is on tonight's episode. Tonight's episode is smooth. Get you the Black Box Chardonnay. Tonight's episode is smooth. All right. Second part of our milestones and landmarks in the month of March is this. The first Black bank, the Capital Savings Bank of Washington, D.C., opened October 17th, 1988. The Savings Bank of the Order of True Reformers was chartered on March 2nd, 1888, and opened in Richmond on April 3rd, 1889. So we definitely want to give shouts out to the first Black bank, which was Capital Savings Bank of Washington, D.C. And also the Savings Bank of the True Reformers, who actually started March 2nd, 1988, and opened April 3rd, 1889. So, that just goes to show our people, man, have always been striving, always been succeeding, always been independent. And we don't have no problem with being independent. But I believe others have a problem of allowing our people to be independent. So that's just what you want to take from tonight's milestone and landmark as we discuss that and give our shout outs to, again, Rebecca Cole and Susan McKinney, for being, for blazing that path to just be, just to be someone that young men and young women can look up to. They became doctors, so big ups to them. All right, look, let's go ahead and move forward on tonight's show, and we're going to go ahead and talk about a classic tale. We're going to do a classic tale from the book Aesop's Fables. It's a book of 101 classic tales and timeless lessons. It's edited by Dr. Shujan Das, also known as Supreme Understanding. And I want to show the book, man, because this is a good book. So we want to give props out and encourage you to go get this book. So tonight on Coffee Talk, we're going to be reading a small little chapter. It's cool. It's about the lion, the fox, and the deer. It's real quick. It's like only a page or two. But I would say this. There is going to be a lesson in it, right? So you can go get like a teenager or just somebody that's in the, that you may want them to hear this. Or just play it afterwards. Let me get my lighting together. And then I want to read this to you before we go to our next segment. All right. So the story that we're getting ready to read is called The Lion, the Fox, and the Deer. It's part of the Aesop Fables, which is the 101 classic tales and timeless lessons by editor and author Dr. Sujan Das. All right, so let's go ahead and get it in. The lion, the fox, the deer. A lion was lying sick in his den, unable to provide food for himself. So he said to his friend the fox, who came to see how he was doing, "You are my good friend. I wish you would go out there to the woods and convince a big deer who lives there to come to my den. I'm craving deer for dinner." The fox went to the woods and found the deer. He said to him, "Sir, guess what? You know of the lion, our king? Well, he's getting quite old, so he's appointed you as his heir. You will soon take his place and rule over the beasts. I hope you won't forget that I was the first to bring you this good news. I have to return to his side now. Now, if you like my advice, you will come too and be with him while he is in his last days." The deer was happy to be named the king's favorite. He followed the fox to the lion's den, thinking nothing was wrong. As soon as he got inside, the lion jumped at him. But the old lion missed his mark, and the deer escaped with only a small cut to his ear. He ran away as fast as he could, back to the shelter of the woods. The fox was upset, and so was the lion. The hungry lion begged the fox to bring the deer back to his den. "It'll be almost impossible this time," said the fox, "but I'll try." He went to the woods and found the deer resting and recovering from his fright. As soon as he saw the fox, he cried, "You villain! Why would you try to take me to my death like that? Get out of here." But the fox was entirely shameless. "What a coward you were," he said. "Do you think the lion meant you any harm? He was only testing your bravery. When you went off like a scared rabbit, you upset him. I'm not so sure he won't make the wolf the king. I'm not so sure he won't make the wolf the king instead. Unless you come back right away and show him you got some spirit. I promise you he won't hurt you. I will be your faithful servant." The deer was foolish enough to return to the den. This time, the lion made no mistake. He overpowered him and ate like a king. The fox, meanwhile, watched his chance, and when the lion wasn't looking, he grabbed its brains as a reward for his trouble. The lion began searching for them, but couldn't find them, of course. The fox was watching him and said, "I don't think it does much good looking for the brains of a creature that twice walked in the lion's den. He couldn't have had any." End of the story. Now, the lesson to that story is this: those without good sense will suffer the most. Think about it. All right, so there we are. That's Coffee Talk Podcast. And that's the story, The Lion, the Fox, and the Deer. We also brought to you our milestones and landmarks for the month of March. Big shout outs to Rebecca Coe and Susan McKinney, first female doctors. You know. All right, let's go ahead and go into this verse, y'all, that I was thinking about. And again, I gave it to you earlier in the show. It is the wise words for tonight, the flavor wise words. But let's go ahead and discuss it again and tell me what your thoughts are on it. Go ahead and leave a comment, hit the like button. But I want to elaborate on it a little bit. I want to elaborate on it because of how the Los Angeles Lakers are being judged. Also want to elaborate on it because of just going back to the Will Smith, Chris Rock incident just for a quick, brief moment. So I want to elaborate this verse in comparison or as an analogy to those other moments. Here we go. Dark night feeling, diary of a hero, or live long enough to see yourself become a villain. I went to the most hated, or would you rather be underpaid or overrated? I'm going to say that one more time so we get it clear. Dark night feeling, diary of a hero, or live long enough to see yourself become a villain. I went to the most hated, or would you rather be underpaid or overrated? So what does that mean? I want to use it as an analogy with the Los Angeles Lakers for the first part. Or anybody. You can put anybody in that subject, you know. But let's talk about it for a minute, just from their viewpoint, the Los Angeles Lakers. When they were winning and they were up, right? Everybody was like, man, they won in the bubble. Wasn't nobody really tripping that it was in the bubble because we all knew the seriousness of the pandemic, right? Let me get out of there. I do apologize for my back screen here, my green screen. All right. But, you know, the Los Angeles Lakers, they went on and they won the championship. They still had lots of fans. LeBron had lots of fans, lots of people cheering for him. You know, they were the champions. And then less than 8 months before the season starts again, maybe 9, because the season ends in, even less than that. Okay, so they begin playing basketball, preseason games in mid-October. They start their seasons usually around November 1st through the 3rd, right? They end in April. No, they actually end in June with the championships. And then you got a 3-month rest period before you're back in the season. Okay? So you had 9 months of people celebrating you for your win, congratulating you. And not even 3 months later, they want to start to bring you down. And that goes into this verse that you're a dark night. You have a dark night feeling at times because people hate you for whatever you do. So you have to be careful not to hate them back. Who was that said, I believe that was Malcolm X that said, you have to be careful when you go at people for not knowing something. There was one time that you didn't know it. And I say that in essence of the Chris Rock situation. So many people was happy he got slapped. And that was like an emotional response to those that approve of that. But the reality is, there was a time you didn't know something. So what we do, we go around and react on people that don't know. I'm not going to go all the way into the story of the Chris Rock and Will Smith thing, because we already know it. But it makes you want to have that Dark Knight feeling, man. The days where you want it, you striving to be the best you could be. You want to give back. You want to do all these things. But then there's days you like, man, these motherfuckers, you know. And you got to be careful, because what it does is it sets you up to start to hate your own. And we kind of saw that in the Will Chris Rock situation. So many people thought that with selective hearing, they thought that we were upset about him defending his wife, his queen. Not at all. We wasn't upset that he was defending his queen. We was upset at the fact that his emotion allowed him to slap another brother at the Academy Awards in front of people that really would give us our movies a chance, and you know it. You know our history in movies, in cinema, in film. So you go slap your brother. He didn't have the audacity to go sit down and say, keep my wife's name out your mouth. No, the brothers ain't mad. We wasn't mad because you defended your wife. We were mad at the mockery, the clownery, the buffoonery that you had the world watching, thinking all us black men behave like that. You know, much love for Chris Rock keeping his composure. That's empowerment in itself. And he's at a level of empowerment where I couldn't be at right now. I fluctuate. Why? Because I would have took off on you, Will Smith. Bottom line, I would have took off on you. You know. So that's our little bit on, that situation. It didn't look good. It don't feel good. If it don't look good and it don't feel good, it ain't good. Then you're at a after party and the arrogance just didn't look right on you, didn't smell right. No, you're supposed to defend your queen. So go ahead and leave your comments on tonight's show. We went ahead and we talked about the lion, the fox, and the deer. That was a short story, a classic little short story. If you missed it, you may have to rewind or go back, do what you do. But go ahead, man. Let the little kids hear it. Maybe you didn't like it, whatever, but let the little kids hear it. There's a lesson at the end of that story. Again, we're giving big shout outs to our authors out there because we want to represent them. And we want, again, people need to start buying books, man, to feed your brain. You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to go ahead and show the book and give love to the God, Supreme Understand. Also, he goes by his name of Dr. Sujan Das. And this is the book right here. AESOP'S Fables, 101 Classic Tales and Time Lessons. So we just got done again reading The Lion, the Fox, and the Deer. Also, again, think about that verse, man, because that was our segment. We're just finishing up here. Again, Dark Knight Feeling, Diary of a Hero, or Live Long Enough to See Yourself Become a Villain. I went to the most hated, or would you rather be underpaid or overrated? I also picked that verse out because it's crazy how Will Smith was a hero for about 10 seconds. Oh, he stuck up for his wife. Yeah, he did. Clap, 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 clap. He was supposed to. And you went from hero to the villain, all within the same time of the award show. 3-hour award show. Los Angeles Lakers go from winning a championship, going through a 9-month season, I should say, winning the championship and having 3 months to recover before they had to do it again. They were celebrated when they were champions. LeBron is the greatest. And then this year, Westbrook, man, forget his family. He's garbage. LeBron's garbage. It's like when you're trying to go up, man, when you're striving to go up to the top, they're going to hate you. But you use that as fuel to overcome your adversity, and you do make it to the top, right? Whatever your success is, you know what I'm saying? But then here comes your own people that want to talk about you, that want to disgrade you, that don't want to support you, that don't even want to come with. So now you isolated, and when you're isolated, you can be used and abused. That you start falling back down. And when you fall back down, the same people that was hating you on your way up, hating your ass when you come back down. So again, tonight's verse, Dark Night Feeling, Diary of a Hero, or Live Long Enough to See Yourself Become a Villain. I went to the most hated, or would you rather be underpaid or overrated? Go ahead and leave that comment. This is the show Coffee Talk Podcast, and we'll see you tomorrow, which is Wednesday, which is our sports edition. We got a great show for you. Thank you for tuning into the show Coffee Talk. We appreciate you. You know how we do. We're going to go ahead and hit you with the universal peace sign. Love, love, man. We out of here. 100.